All right, y'all. I remember to press play this time. I'm back. I am starting with the bees. And this is a real bee right here. His name is Brian Babin. He's Republican from District 36, representing Texas. It's very unfortunate because District 36 is adjacent to the district that I grew up in Cypress, Texas. It's in the Houston, Beaumont area, and it's a little bit north in it doesn't matter. Texas. Um, his net worth. That's a very interesting story. Let's start there with Mr. Brian Babin. His net worth as of 2018 was 2.28 million. But when I looked at the website, it said question mark, this may be inaccurate because it showed his net worth being 2.28 million, but it showed his assets, and his assets didn't add up, and so that's why it said this may be inaccurate. So I did a deep dive and found some other websites that corroborated that he is in fact worth, as of 2022, 3.55 million. And I did a little further deep dive into those sites, and I found out that he has 44 mutual funds ranging in value from 1,000 to 100,000 apiece. So there's 44 of those. So I just looked it up for shits and giggles, and in Texas you can gift someone a mutual fund. He didn't have to open those himself. Someone could have bought those or funded those and then given those to him as a gift. It didn't tell me about that, but to have 44 of those, that's a little suspicious. He also was gifted from six lobbyist groups at his most recent campaign. And from what it says, they were all in the oil and gas field. You know, Beaumont, that area in Texas, Houston, Ship Channel, that makes sense. Um, Before he even became a congressperson, back in 1996, I was 4 years old. He was caught up in a financial scandal with a campaign with misappropriation of funds where $38,000 ended up missing. Back in 1996, that was a big deal because $38,000 could actually buy you something. And so they don't know what happened to the money. He wasn't even running at the time, he was just someone caught up in the scandal. Fast forward to 2015 when he was sworn in uh, to the district for the very first time. I guess that didn't matter to people. And so, looking at everything that he's got going on as far as his net worth and all of the money he's been getting from all of these different donors, he's a career politician. He has a business of his own. He has a dental business. Whether he's a dentist or not, I didn't check that up because I don't care because that's not who he is now. He also has surprise, surprise, finances in oil and gas, investments in oil and gas and banking. And then he's got something known as a land parcel. That's of course confidential. It's just valued at around 150 to $230,000. Um, he is currently the chair to the House of Science Committee, and that's a big problem because he is very much against science. He's a religious bigot. He doesn't believe in gender affirming care for anyone. He doesn't believe in pro choice. He's very much make them have the child. He's been a part of or even sponsored bills that went after individuals who protested for pro life. I'm sorry, pro choice. And so he's that far to the right. When it comes to, he opposed the removal of Confederate statues that represented traitors for the Confederacy um, back in 2000, 2020, 2021. He was outwardly opposed to the Justice and Policing Act that was passed by the House, but got stalled in the Senate and has never come out. The Justice and Policing Act, I looked into it, and it's actually not a bad act. What it is it forces federally police officers and all of their entities that employ them to act in good faith, to train them about racial diversity, religious diversity, and things like that. And it held them accountable. It got rid of, for the most part, qualified immunity, and it also opened the pathway for citizens who have been harmed by police to actually seek better payouts for civil cases and hold them accountable. So pretty much it forced federally individuals who were employed as police officers, aka peace officers, to be better at their jobs. And he was opposed to that. And he stated that the reason why he was opposed to it was because that Democrats drafted this bill partisanly, didn't include a single Republican on it. However, there were instances in the past where not this bill, but bills similar to it were they were invited to the table and they refused to join. And so Democrats at this point in time, especially after dealing with Trump, decided to draft this bill. And I didn't read the entire thing. I read pretty much a summary of it. It was a good bill. It was a good bill. It pretty much forced police to be accountable for their actions, especially if their actions led to the unaliving of someone. And it made it harder for people to protect those individuals when there was clear. And it also dug deeper into investigations, and it made sure that there were other entities investigating, not just the police officer's own unit. There was just so much to this bill. I urge you to look it up. It was a very good bill, and he was a champion stating that he is not going to be down with this. He doesn't want it passed. And when it came time for the Senate, it still hasn't passed. It's still marred in the Senate, and until we can turn it blue, it most likely won't. But anyway, on to the grading. This guy is an F. He's an F straight up all day, every day, because he's not for the people. He is out there taking mutual funds from people, gifting them to him. That he's out here getting payments from lobbyist groups. He's a career politician. He does not have our best interest at heart. There are plenty of bills he's also been a part of that lobbyists are pretty much paying him to say, hey, let's roll back the protections on the environment so that way we can do more destructive forces to the environment. Fracking, drilling, yada, yada, yada. That's why they're going after the national parks, because apparently they're trying to see if there's natural resources there that they can pillage from here in the United States. This guy is not good. Bad news. Also, when it comes to Project 2025, back in 2021, he actually was the one to sponsor a birthright citizenship bill, trying to amend birthright citizenship. And it didn't go anywhere, obviously, because it was back in 2021. But Project 2025 is currently underway. And birthright citizenship, that was one thing that Trump went after. So my thing is, I went and I looked it up, and I cannot find a single congressman that is linked to Project 2025. I tried, I looked, they show senators that are, but they don't have any congressmen. But it's hard for me to believe that no congressman is involved when some of the things that they sponsored before Trump got back into office during his for his second term under Biden are some of the same things that are in Project 2025. Babin needs to go. F, 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 go. Bye bye. Elect somebody else, replace him.